There's two gentlemen that started this company. I don't want to use their last names. I'll butcher it. They're unique names, but they were traveling, had been to like a distillery hangout place in another state, and they looked at each other. There was a couple of them, and they were like, why is this not happening in Birmingham? So they came back, started like crunching things. Two of them stuck with it. One was a surgeon, one was an ex football player, because the surgeon had worked on the football player. And they start this thing in 2017, Dread River Distilling. Okay. Now they open in August of 2019, and the pandemic hits, and they end up just making sanitizer for 6 months.
Like a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, the cool thing was, I guess there was a Fox News. It was covered, because what happened was they start out of basically just giving a crap, making all the sanitizer with their equipment, right? And they just give it out. And then the next thing you know, and they're like giving it to first responders and all the local hospitals, and all the sanitizers going out, and people are like, man, these guys are making this good sanitizers. The next thing you know, they're getting orders. So 6 months of sanitizer. But the dream, the ultimate dream, the reason they did Dread River Distilling in the first place was exactly what is in front of you. Bourbon. But you got to lay it down and wait, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to jump around, but too much. But this bottle, so this, it's not age stated basically, but it is just, I guess, shy of 3 years. So they just say it's 2 years.
Okay.
Okay. It's close to 3. So they have this bourbon laid down from basically inception. But to keep this business going, right, the way these Alabama laws work, you can do a tasting room, but you only sell your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know if it ever crosses your mind, but when you see distilleries and they have a wide range of spirits, and you wonder, what, are they a whiskey company? Like, why do they have gin? Why do they have rum? Why do they have agave? Why do they have vodka? It's because it was out of necessity for Dread River. They needed quick spirits, right, to have their tasting room, their bar open, serving custom cocktails right away. While the bourbon, this is the goal right here.
Yeah, it keeps the doors open.
Kept
Keeps
the doors
lights
open.
open.
And I've been there twice. And this place is really cool. So I think it's 7th Avenue or 7th Street in Birmingham, downtown Birmingham, older area. These guys search and search, and they find this, I think it's 24,000 square foot, if I understand. I've seen different numbers. It seems large, right? 24,000. So the front is so awesome. It's got this big open bar in the center. It's got these rooms off to the side, super decorated, cool. And their concept was, this place is going to be for every demographic. Like, we want to attract everybody. So they'd have gin, they have vodka, they've got rum, they've got sherry finished this and that, but they started getting his revenue through this while this sat. So this released in 2022. So look how dark it is for almost 3 years, right? That is not bad. I thought it would be older. I was shocked, and it's cool that, they're being honest about the 2 year, but man, I think this is going to remind you something else that we like a lot. As you see, I've already had some of this because I couldn't resist. Now, the nose is different, right? It's got a different nose. Now, that doesn't state over here, but their first true like whiskey that was a bourbon that they released. It was actually a wheated bourbon finished in rum casks. Okay. Now this does not state finished anywhere on this, but that wheated rum cask finish was the first bourbon to come out of Birmingham, Alabama in 100 years. 100 years, because it was shut. Alabama got destroyed in about 1915, and that's when everything just went to crap for doing these sort of things. So these guys bring it back to Birmingham, and one's I believe an Alabama Birmingham native, one wasn't. Do you think do you think it's finished? It would have to state that, wouldn't it?
It's got some type of after.
It does, don't it?
Yeah.
Now, I've read there's not much on this. There's really not much. There's like one official review on a smaller blog. There's really one YouTube video. There's not a lot on this. Okay. Not a lot of people have experimented with this. So it's hard to see. And some people have concepts of it differently. Now they Dread River does say their signature rum cask finish. They kind of feel that is their thing. I don't know if they're doing that with this. It doesn't state it. I have studied this, unless I'm missing the obvious. It's saying it's a straight bourbon whiskey. So you can do a straight bourbon whiskey and finish it however you want?
Not.
I didn't think so, right?
Yeah, no. No, I'm getting like earth pecans, that dried pecan earthy finish off the back.
Now, the first time I had it, when I opened it in Alabama, I got a little chocolate off of it. But it was the end of the day. It was an evening. My palate was in a different position. So, but yeah, I'm not getting the chocolate right now. I'm not getting the minor chocolate at all. The graham cracker, I'm not getting any of that right now.
I'm not getting that either. On the front, it's kind of like a citrus peel front with like earthy pecan on the back.
Here is this bourbon in a nutshell. This is the most consistently stated blurb. If there's a site that sells it, or even wherever they authorize their postings, it's 90 proof. And here is read word by word. Distilled from 60% corn, 30 wheat, 10 malted barley. Okay, malted. Dread River's flagship bourbon is the first bourbon distilled in Birmingham in over 100 years. Heavy notes of vanilla. Do you get that? And caramel on the nose dissolve into a blend of toasted oak and baking spices on the palate, mellowed by a subtle rum sweetness. See, I think they're doing their rum finish. Don't know how long, but you get something, because I think there's someone in that one rare review, gentleman had wrote it being a different nose than your typical bourbon. He didn't expect that on the nose,
Right.
and I think it's that rum finishing.
Yeah, the nose doesn't really stand out.
Like, what can you do? If you heavy notes of vanilla and caramel, are you getting that? It's there, but there's something else alongside it. Right?
Like a clove or allspice kind of. I can see where the vanilla picks up, but to me, the whole thing has that earthy, I wouldn't go as far as like rum. I'm more of a darker Caribbean, spiced rum guy instead of the white blended, the white rums.
Me too.
But it's interesting.
It's different, right?
Yeah, it is different.
So the Dread River brand, what is Dread River? There's this mythical river that allegedly flows below the earth underneath the city of Birmingham. So there's folklore of people entering this thing at some unknown location.
Okay.
And just drifting, and they claim that there is clear water, eyeball-less fish, these creatures that were known to pull ships through the harbor. I mean, just wild stories. And this has been going on for a long time there, and it hasn't stopped. And there's actually current, modern cave-dwelling types, scientific names, professions that go into Dread River, and they claim that they've seen this river. So one of the founders is looking to fund an exploration to find Dread River.
Oh, that'd be cool.
So it's a mythical, some amazing, crazy river below. It's allegedly 75 feet deep and like 300 feet wide, and it's just, but there's not a photo of it or nothing like that. But what's cool about the water, though, truly the factoid of aspect of the water is it is in limestone, and this is all that water, this Birmingham water that is good for bourbon. And so they use that. So the Dread River guys, they didn't know really a whole lot about how to make spirits. They just knew they wanted to do it. Okay, they're two smart guys. So here's their basically their business or their brand statement. Here's what's from their site. Dread River symbolizes the chasm between us and where we want to go, the relentless torrent of issues and roadblocks, and the frigid fear of failure. In making this distillery a reality, we realize that our overcoming our fears isn't just something we did, it's who we are. For us, dread is not a paralytic, it is an inspiration, a challenge just waiting to be accepted. Our goal is to inspire our friends to face their fears with us. So as you can see on their site, they are they're pro-military. They just did a veterans special bottle this year for Veterans Day, a blend of Kentucky bourbons, which wasn't out and I couldn't get it, but this one has been awarded a 2023 San Francisco World Spirit Competition, a silver medal in that. I didn't find out. I couldn't figure out what the meaning is behind the logo. I wanted to know, but no, this place is really cool though. This is the event spaces. You can see this.
Yeah, they put some thought into, their design and stuff. It looks pretty good.
Oh, it's a really cool place, man. The food is awesome. This is not just bar food. This is really good food. Had several different plates there, and I had friends with me on the first time we met with Gavin there, and we all had random different things. It was delicious. And actually, the first time we were there, it was national or international old fashioned day, so they were doing these killer old fashions. And I don't remember because they do a rye. When I go back in January, I want to get their rye because they were the official spirit sponsor of a Honda, like Indy. It was like an Indy car, something like that just came through, I guess, to town, and they were official sponsors of that. So they're big into racing, veterans. And yeah, you can buy them on the site. So the site pricing is pretty spot on to when you get it from ABC.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you've heard me say this many times. The ABC there is not the ABC here.
Right.
So there, I just found out their ABC is called It's called Alcoholic Beverage Control. I think it's Alcohol Beverage Control. These guys, it's a board, and they're one of the 17 states, Alabama is, that the state controls the booze. So that's why those ABCs have all of this stuff we like, and just there. And the pricing is the way it's supposed to be. Because what I paid at ABC is dollars just right at what they're selling theirs for online. Yeah. And they're not, in Birmingham, ABC was closed on Sunday, so I didn't get this on a Sunday. And I guess the state lets the local areas control when things, if a Sunday is going to have booze or not.
Okay.
Now, your third-party places, your higher-priced, super jacked-up pricing places, they're open on Sundays. But the pricing is just through the roof. I showed you that. But, yeah, they do a rye, and they just did a Master Series Batch 2 Veterans Edition. They do a single barrel bourbon, vodka, gin, blue agave. They do a whiskey blend. Well, the screen is slow. And
Double
they just
aged agave.
And yeah, I want to get that aged agave. I heard that sold out right away.
Wow. It looks good.
Yeah.
It's got good artwork on the bottle.
Yeah. So this one, they incorporated her, this blender, I believe she's considered a master blender. Master blender. She ends up coming on board to do a Master Series Kentucky Straight Bourbon by Ebony Major. When I go back, I'm going to go to them directly instead of ABC and get this, a couple of these. Because by January, I bet the veterans will be gone.
Yeah. Now, are they doing all their stuff in house?
Yeah, everything is except this, this veterans one.
So they're doing their tequila also in house, or are they bringing it over?
It's just an agave, yeah. Yep. Yeah, so that is a Kentucky blend. So they must have got that from wherever. But it looks pretty dark too. But yeah, here's ours right here. Dread River Straight Bourbon Whiskey. You can see this is what these guys have been waiting all this time for. Yeah, is it Jeff and John, right? Yeah, it says Jeff and John. Yeah, so Jeff and John are the founders. You imagine that? Waiting all this time. 2017, final location, renovate it. Because this building is super cool. It's a Tuscany styled front end, which is a major score because you don't see the rest of a lot of Birmingham in that area looking like Tuscany. And it's legit. When I first saw it, I was like, did they just do this? It's a 100-year-old building.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's been other things before. It sat empty for a while, and they got it, redid it. I mean, the inside, man, these sitting rooms, these hanging out rooms, they are really, really cool. And you can close the curtains and, use it privately if you have to. And then the back end, it's literally just like a big rectangle. So the front, square, tasting room, bar, hangout, back, distillery. And they brought master distillers over. The last guy they brought over, their Facebook has, when they bring someone new on, it shows all the new additions to the company. And I remember they pinned the post for when they released this in 2022. Because it basically like, hey, finally, we just put out the spirit that we've been waiting this whole time to do. They got into this for bourbon. They did. Now they can do it. So hopefully, they have something up their sleeve to have a 6-year or something. Cool.
How are they storing their bottles, their barrels?
So I don't know where the quote unquote the rick house is. Some of it's there, but I don't see how that spot could have it all.
Right. Probably some off house location.
It has to, because they're doing this the old fashioned way, letting the seasons go through and do the work for them. Because I say that because I'm going to be bringing to you another thing I got out there, and they accelerate the seasons with technology. Yeah.
Have you tried it yet?
Yeah. So we'll bring that up next time. But this one, I hope they got something up their sleeve for like a 6-year. And I just, I'd love to have an answer for you about this rum finishing thing, if that's what we can sense is going on here. But you would think that would be, because there is another one of their bourbons with a different label, and it does state the rum finishing. Now, would you consider a 30% wheat a wheated bourbon? Is this wheated?
I wouldn't push that into the wheated category.
Yeah. So this is probably not their wheated rum finish then. This is maybe the flavor of what you get. This could just be straight. This is what they laid down 3 years ago.
Yeah, and depending, if it's being stored in Alabama or being stored somewhere else, you're going to have that different climate.
Well, they're distilling right there. They can't be going far. Is all their equipment is right there behind the tasting room.
Yeah, where the barrels are being stored, aged.
Yeah, they can't be far. You're gonna definitely want the awesome Alabama up and down temperatures. As it sits on you, and it's 90 proof. I don't even want to add water to it. It's not barrel strength, right? It's just It's cut down. They took it to 90.
Yeah, it's not harsh. Like I said, it's different. It has that earthy, dried pecan style finish with that allspice, clove, maybe some rind peel, front nose ish.
Yeah, and the last time I read something that was stated the char, it was a number 3 char.
Okay.
At least it was a number 3 char on the bourbon. I stated that was clearly the rum finished expression.
Okay.
I would think this is 3 as well.
Yeah. Well, what is it? Batch number 1?
Batch 1.
So.
Batch 1.
Batch 1, 2 years old.
Almost 3, yeah.
Another couple of years they can release their 3-year and.
Yeah, even on the back. The gentlemen state here, Birmingham's first bourbon in more than 100 years. And it says, when we turned our still on for the first time 3 years ago, we had one goal in mind, bourbon. The world has changed a lot since then, because they didn't expect they would be set back for COVID and the silliness. But through it all, this bourbon has been quietly resting, mellowing, waiting for its release. Creating this bourbon has been our passion, our ambition, our adventure. We are proud to share our flagship product, 1 century in the making, with you. Distilled by River Distilling.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's little things going on here, like they have the established 2016 on the logo. Batch 1, bottled in 2022. Really clean looking. This is their more modern, some of their older logos. I think this is the most attractive they've ever come up with. I really like it a lot.
Yeah, it's not a bad product. I think it's a good start.
It is. Yeah, and we've seen this with other guys too. They'll be maybe, hey, we're not doing nothing less than 4. Might put their foot down, and then we'll have a lot more flavor. But yeah, it's a fantastic start to finally get it out there. Makes you wonder, like, to get that 3-year age statement bragging right, you would maybe wait a little bit more. I mean, who knows? They just tasted it. They're like, it's ready. Do it. We'll just say it's a 2 and but we'll have to, why do you wait? Why don't you wait a couple more? Do you need to do it that bad? Always makes you wonder, right?
Well, if they liked it, and get it pushed out. And,
Bold it.
Yeah. Hopefully they got something else coming down the line. And then, because you're up there once, twice a year,
Mm-hmm.
maybe a couple of years, we can see what else they have to offer. And they can keep doing. For 2 year, it's not bad.
Mm-mm. No, so you're looking at, even if you mail order it or get it at the Alcoholic Beverage Control Center there, those stores, ABCs, you're looking at $49, $50, $52 with them. I mean, you're right there at 50. And do you want me to bring you some of that aged agave back?
You can just bring a bottle.
One?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know about their other. I don't know if they have something else that's higher proof. I didn't look through the whole line, but I don't know if there's a whole lot of these I'd be putting on any ice. I would. This one definitely is for neat. Yeah, but I didn't realize I was watching the one YouTube video I could find on it. And being batch 1, hopefully in January I can score us a sealed batch 1 and just keep it, have a batch 1. But I don't know if they're going to crush through those or what by then. Because I definitely do want that Veterans one. That's going to be an expression of these Kentucky blends. I think that'll be interesting.
Yeah, something to try to see what they came up with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and if I understand this properly, that came from a site in Kentucky that used to be owned by the Beams.
Okay.
If I put the pieces together, don't quote me, but it came from a pretty badass place. So I also learned this, and it's happening again. The second pour, palate's been the foundation's been set, and then you bring this back, fortifies everything, and you almost like it's stacking the flavors, I feel, and you're getting more. You feel that?
Yeah, so what you coming up with?
Well, now I'm getting the caramel. Still, the nose is just making me feel like it is finished in something else. Right?
The nose hasn't changed for me.
Right. The nose hasn't changed. It's, no, I'm not getting some just crazy caramel or something out of that. What was it? Stone fruit? Do you feel? I think a nose gives me some stone fruit, as you taught us. I think there's some stone fruit in the nose.
I'm still picking up that rind.
Rind?
Yeah. That, like if you just took, a good navel orange or something and, you expressed it and left it laying on the counter and it just kind of, some of the oils start drying. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm picking up.
If you were to do that and then come back and sniff it?
Yeah.
You come back and sniff it?
Yeah, just let it sit there and, say you wanted to use it for something else or, maybe you expressed it into an old fashioned and you didn't put it in and mix it. And you see if you had anything left in it on your next drink. So
that's what you're getting?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're more creative at your house, so you've done a lot of different tries and things.
But I think it's definitely not a bad first start.
Absolutely not.
A
nice hefty bottle. You got a real cork. Not cork, but at least it's got a good cork. Mm-hmm. Synthetic one there with a wood. Nice seal on it. Someone out there in San Francisco thought it was a winner. Yeah. Another aspect of what they state is Red River spirits are created for those inspired by the journey. We take great pride in crafting each spirit we pour, and they're currently distilling small batches of bourbon, whiskeys, rye, vodka, gin, rum, and blue agave. It's all covered. And beer.
What are they doing with beer?
Serving it they have their own taps.
Okay.
Yeah, they even did, if this is correct, they actually did small runs of wine, because when they have events and if someone wants wine, they have to have it, because you can have that place for a reception. You could have that thing.
Right. This is a pretty location.
Oh, this spot, and it's got a side open area, fenced in. It's got plenty of room inside. You could easily have a pretty badass wedding reception in there, like plenty of room. And so looks like they covered all bases, even down to wine. I didn't see wine. I didn't look for wine, but I didn't see wine when I was there. I just saw taps, and it's cool. What they do is when you walk in, you're facing the front of the bar, because the bar is the island in the center.
Okay.
And you're looking at all the bottles, every expression they have, every spirit, right there, just like a
Good branding.
yeah. It's used right in. You're walking right in, looking at it. It's pretty cool.
And they have some good artwork, and
Oh yeah.
their bottles look nice. So
Yeah.
next time I'm going through Alabama, I may have to stop in and take a look at it.
I like their logo. I'd like to know more about it. I did shoot an email. I should have done it earlier, but we had quite a week. But maybe we can do a second part on this, because I did reach out to them, and I didn't expect her to respond on a Sunday. But when I do find out more, we'll do a second, and I'll bring some more information to you about this and maybe answer some of the details. But yeah, when we were there, they were doing some sort of not a charades, but some sort of a word thing. It was just like a game for the whole crowd to play with, and participate in, finishing sentences or whatever it was, and answering, trivia of movies and whatnot. And the guys I was with, they participated, because I did talk to Gavin, but the guys had won, and they gave us all we all have Dread River Glencairns.
There you go.
Yeah. Yep. All of us got one.
Yeah, it's like I'll wait for you to get back to me, because their symbol kind of looks like a
pitchfork, isn't there? Or some sort of a underwater, or is it a crown?
Looks like a crown. So we'll see what they come back to us with. Have you put it into the Google bots and Google the image?
No, that'd have been a good one. Or Bing or something. Yeah, no, I didn't do that.
Because you said what? He's a surgeon, and the other one is
One's a surgeon, one was a football player.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I really think that logo has something to do with adventure, and the dread part.
Well, just like their bourbon, we'll wait to find out.
Yeah. Yeah, see this here? That's kind of the visual you get when you go in there, because they stack them.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good taste.
Gene? What do you think, Gene?
He told me earlier that he likes dread, anything with dread in it.
No.
Yeah. He's
Okay.
been through hell and back,
Yeah.
Still waiting for that position to open up.
I bet he is. Cool. Well, I appreciate you sharing this today.
Yeah, absolutely, bro.
It like I said, it's a good start for him. And you know, they're 4 year, maybe a 6 year.
Oh yeah,
You
at
know.
least 4.
Yeah, we'll see how it comes along.
Break that 4-year stepping stone. Something magical about 4-year in Alabama. Because when I was there, every time I've been there, the weather, you're looking at 10, sometimes 20-degree differences throughout the day.
Oh yeah,
It's nuts.
start off cold in the morning,
Yeah.
but at 10 o'clock you're.
It could be 50, and then you're in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a dream. They can crush through these barrels, working them their magic in no time. But I like the color. I don't think they filter it. Pretty oily, right?
Yeah, I would just run it through, you know, your charcoal and let it go.
Yeah, a lot of leggy. All right, man. Thanks for coming over.
Yeah, no worries. Let's see what the next one turns up.
Absolutely.